violence here, right? Let's say you work really hard in your life, and you leave like a house, maybe a couple thousand, 100,000, maybe you really lucked out and you made a few million, and you leave that behind for your children. What should happen? Now your children are millionaires. They didn't work hard for it.
Now they're greedy. Now they're greedy.
I'm gonna put it in my will that they have
To a savings account. Oh, we got someone excited to answer.
Okay.
Hey, let's make sure we're listening.
Why would I work for my children to get that money? Like I work for them to get that rich.
So what should happen, right? When you die,
They should keep the money because I worked for it.
There should be a train of
they should keep the money in the family. There should be a train of money. What is that?
They keep it, and then kids they get even more money when they give it out like past.
So over here we got the idea that the kids make even more money. There's a really well researched data point that within 3 generations, so let's say you make a lot of money, you leave it for your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids. If you made that wealth, it's very well noted that your great-grandkids will be poor again, right? Like that money will just cycle. So like Jeff Bezos is the richest guy right now, but within 75 years, his family likely won't be very wealthy. 75, maybe 125 years. It's a lot of money, okay? But for most families, it cycles through 3 generations. By the 3rd generation, they're back to being broke and poor, right? Because there's one who works hard to make it. Their kids might appreciate it, but the grandkids won't, right? And they don't know how to make the money, right? So those skills get lost pretty quickly. Thank you for patiently
I
waiting.
don't know what it's called, but it's like you just have like, I guess like a certain like bank account that the kids could have when they're a certain age. And that's what my dad did before he passed. He was like money for me when I'm 18 or something. My mom just
Like a trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You could do that.
Right? So people should be allowed to do that, but sometimes the government will still take a little bit of their piece of the pie, right? Hey, so what happens? So let's say grade 9s, instead of that person taking 95% of the snacks for themselves, they take those snacks, grade 10s. They take those snacks and they distribute to everyone.
That's valid.
Like what Miss Rantucci does.
That's good.
What happens? What happens to that person? How do you perceive that person?
Now they're doing better.
Right, you're shaking your head. You're like, yes. Now they're cool. They're better.
They're not class. That has nothing else.
What? If they give you a fool.
Yeah, if they're spreading to the class, we're in the class. They can't.
Okay. But the main focus there is that the person who does distribute wealth and shares, how do we feel about that person?
Yeah.
Feel good.
Generous.
Do you feel good when you share?
No.
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 Bro,
It
actually,
depends on I'm sharing.
that's true. It depends on what you're
Like if
sharing.
I'm giving my friend $100 bills,
Because maybe
it hurts my bank.
yes. It hurts the bank.
Okay.
What do you feel good sharing?
Food.
No.
Food?
Food is off limits, though.
Don't share.
Why? What do you mean? Why?
Germs that go
I'm not sharing, especially if it's like good food, sometimes I share food.
Yeah, I always share the best.
I was sharing
No
like.
wonder I never get anything from you.
Yeah.
I'll give you.
Okay, what's up?
We share stuff that we don't really like.
We share things that we don't like.
Yeah.
What does that say about, you know, what do you think of that? Isn't that kind of weird?
What?
So there's a, you know, I can talk about religion in this portion. This is kind of interesting. So there's an idea within Christianity, within many religions, that you give your best to God, right? So you kids know the story of Cain and Abel,
Yes.
two brothers. Okay. Cain and Abel, right?
Yes.
Cain is the older brother. Abel is the younger brother. Cain is a farmer, right? They say he grows things out of the ground. And Abel, the younger brother, is a shepherd, right? So he has animals. So a little smaller detail that's not as known in the story is that when they both had to sacrifice what they had to give to God, Cain didn't give his best, right?
Oh.
Abel gave his best. He found like a real fat sheep. So here you go, God. He sacrificed that for God, right? And then what happens?
He kills his brother.
Hold on, before that.
Oh.
Right?
God appreciates the sheep instead of like the fruits that was
Yeah,
given.
God acknowledges Abel and says you gave your best, but from Cain it's like, this is not your best. You gave me the food you don't like. Right? You gave me the things you don't want. Right? And in the religious sense, right? Or in a spiritual sense, it's like, where should you place God on the hierarchy, right? Like if you believe, it should be all the way at the top.
Yes.
So you wouldn't give your leftovers like, nah, I don't really like my veggies. I don't like broccoli. Here you go, God. You can have the broccoli. The steak, oh, I like steak. Steak and potatoes, I love that. Broccolis, you can have that.
It's
God,
gotta be
right?
cooked.
Right?
Gotta be
Yeah, boiled.
boiled.
You know, steak 45 seconds each time, just pure raw.
Like how it's still moving.
Yeah, I like it still
peppers
moving.
taste better. Add peppers, cucumbers.
So there is a benefit, grade 10s, to sharing and giving some of your best, right? And it's hard, but that sacrifice can be worth it, right? But sometimes it gets your head smashed in with a rock, like it did for Abel, right?
That's how he killed him?
Yeah, he smashed his head in with a rock.
I thought it was a snap.
No, not the rock.
Well,
That's how he
it
killed
just says he
him.
beat him and killed him,
Oh.
right? Okay. What's up? Sure. What? We're done class in 5 minutes.
Oh. What?
Damn, that was a fast
It's
class.
what, isn't it 12?
That's 12.
Yeah. Is it not 12 in like 5
6
minutes?
minutes.
6 minutes.
Oh yeah.
We'll wrap it up here. We got like a good 30 minutes.